Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. It is Tuesday, March 12th. We're certainly pleased to have everybody in attendance. We will start our meeting with our roll call of the City Council.
Council members Rolfing.
Here.
Staggers. Aguilar.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Entenmann.
Here.
Erpenbach.
Here.
Jamison.
Here.
Karski.
Here.
Welcome, Councilor Staggers. We will start our meeting, as we always do, with an invocation. We're very, very pleased to have Pastor Sarah McManus of First United Methodist Church with us here tonight. Welcome, Pastor. And what we'll do is we'll ask you all to stand. We'll have our blessing, and then we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance. Pastor Sarah, welcome.
Thank you. Would you all please pray with me? Heavenly God, we thank you for giving us such a wonderful place to live and a place to be in community together. I ask you to be in this room, to fill the hearts of these people. Give them your wisdom to make the decisions for all your people. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council will now continue with our consent agenda. Any changes or additions?
Move to approve Erpenbach.
Second, Karski.
It's been a motion to approve our consent agenda, seconded by Councilor Karski. If there is no discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Council member Staggers.
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
Anderson. Entenmann.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Rolfing.
Yes.
That is passed 8-0. Thank you. We'll now move on to our regular agenda. Council, any changes or additions?
Move to approve Erpenbach.
Second, Anderson.
There's been a motion to approve our regular agenda for tonight's meeting. It has been seconded as well. A roll call vote, please.
Council member Staggers.
Yes.
Aguilar.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Entenmann.
Yes.
Erpenbach.
Yes.
Jamison.
Yes.
Karski.
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0.
And Rolfing votes yes also.
Councilor Rolfing, thank you so much. We'll now continue with our public input portion. It's an opportunity for you to engage the council, anyone in the audience. Please just come forward, introduce yourself, and we'd ask you to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Anybody interested? Well, very good, very good. I'll tell you what, before we continue, I did want to introduce the young folks in the back. Could you tell me who you folks are, please? Very good. We have Troop 216 from Peace Lutheran here. Would you folks just stand up, please, and we'll recognize you. Welcome, men. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We'll now move on to our next item, which is item 16.
Item 16 is a first reading to set a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, April 2nd, 2013 at 7:00 p.m. for an ordinance of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, amending the Code of Ordinances of the city by amending certain provisions of Chapter 90 relating to animals and fowl and Chapter 92 Health and Sanitation.
Shauna, welcome.
Thank you. Members of the council, my name is Shauna Goldammer. I'm the zoning enforcement manager for the City of Sioux Falls. I'm also here to present the ordinance regarding keeping of animals as part of the urban agriculture discussion that we've been having community-wide. I'm happy to present to you the second piece of legislation that we are proposing changes for the keeping of animals and providing rules and regulations for the keeping of animals for purposes of food sources. I don't have a whole lot to add. I will just go through the sections of the ordinances. First, on the first section, we provide definitions. You can see there is some 6 new definitions for the keeping of animals, including fowl, livestock, and pet. The second section is for the keeping of animals, including new language for the keeping of chickens and rabbits. Also for other domestic fowl, that's in subsection C. You can also see that we have provided provisions for the keeping of livestock within the city limits and a prohibition for the slaughter of animals. Section 3 includes language for the licensing of these animals, including written consent of 80% of property owners surrounding the residence where people may want to keep these types of animals. And then finally in Section 4, we have added language for the keeping of animals regarding their food and removal of those foods that are not eaten by the animals. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding the ordinance.
Shauna, thank you. And folks, this is a first reading, so you won't have the opportunity to engage the council, but the council will certainly have the ability to engage Shauna, and I know there's been a lot of work on this. Councilor Staggers.
Yes, Shauna, the many years I've been on the council, I've never had any complaints about, these urban animals you're dealing with. However, I've had many, many complaints about dogs. And from what you said, there's nothing in here dealing with dogs. Are we still maintaining dogs at 4? Or can you say something about the dogs?
Right. We currently, under our ordinances, we don't have a definition of what a pet is. In this proposal, we are including a definition of pet. The number of pets is currently limited, and that is not changing to the limit of 4. But the kind of rub was we didn't know what a pet was, and there was, at the time that we started this discussion, which was in the summer of 2011, actually, there was people that came to the Land Use Committee that thought where we need to start is with definitions, because chicken is not a pet. At least that was the testimony that we took in at that time.
I don't know, maybe this is something for the future too, but dealing with dogs, I mean, I've had people complain, they're trying to sleep at night. The dogs are howling away, and I mean, this is a real problem, interfering with one's well-being, trying to sleep on their house, and has there been any conversation about maybe trying to deal with that in the future?
Actually, what the Urban Agriculture Task Force was formulated for was to empower people to provide and grow their own food sources. And so we didn't have the discussion about eating pets or anything like that. We did recognize and took public testimony regarding problems with other animals, but we had to draw the line someplace and keep it on task and on topic. I would welcome those people to approach the Land Use Committee as those folks that wanted to have a discussion regarding urban agriculture animals, to engage the council and see if there is an interest to addressing that issue.
Shauna, in terms of Councilor Stager's question, noise in particular from dogs, for example, how would that get addressed, or could it be addressed?
There are ordinances regarding barking dogs. How they handle that right now is they will give you a log so you can document when the problems are occurring. You turn that log in and they proceed with the appropriate enforcement action.
What committee within the council would tackle something like that if they wanted to strengthen it or change it? I think that's the point that Councilor Staggers is trying to get towards.
Because there's a problem with
Councilor Urbanbach?
Mr. Mayor, as chair of the council, that would be a conversation we would have among ourselves. It would very likely go to public services or land use, would be my guess, if that were something that were to come. But I was going to ask Councilor Staggers, I mean, we have barking dogs in our neighborhood too. Is there a ways, do we need to change that? And if we do, let's bring it forward. I mean,
because that is a frequent complaint. And a lot of people said we're just not enforcing what we do have. Because we're supposed to have these meters out there reading the barking level and things like that, and nobody really seems to want to get involved in that.
right. Well, if I might, it's very often one neighbor has to tell on another neighbor, and that becomes difficult in the relationships between neighbors. But I would certainly, do we want to, if I might, this isn't really protocol in this meeting, but if we'd bring that to committee, that would be fine. If Councilor Staggers want to follow up, we can take it to land use. I'm getting a nod from Councilor Rolfing. Can I ask the two of you to collaborate on that? Thank you.
Councilor Urbanbach, thank you. And I know, Councilor Rolfing, you've had a ton of work put on this. Did you have any comments of Shauna?
No, other than to thank her and the people that were on the task force for the work that they put in. We put in over a year, I think, on this, and a lot of people have helped. A lot of public input, and it's been very good. We've had a lot of positive things that have come out of this. So, I wanted to thank her, especially in public, for all the good work that she's done. So, thank you.
I do want to add one thing. I have heard that there may be an amendment coming from counselors, and that will take place unless someone wanted to talk about what they're proposing here among the council regarding the petition and the percentage of neighbors. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I don't have anything drafted, but I just wanted to make the public aware that I have.
Very good. Councilor Entenmann.
Yes, I will be bringing forward an amendment. Basically, it's dealing with to exceed this limit of rabbits or chickens per residence, or also to get permission to have turkeys or larger fowl. It says you need approval of 80% of the adjoining property owners. My petition I'm going to bring forward will change that, or my proposed amendment will change that to 100%. To protect the rights of all property owners around that person, I believe those property rights take precedence over pets or animals.
And then, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Councilor Bach.
There will also be another amendment that comes that changes the definition of what a rabbit is. It takes rabbits
Out of the pet
out of the
definition.
pet category and
Right.
puts them so that comes from as a cleanup measure as well. So those are the two that I know of. I don't know if others.
Well, very good, and certainly the public will have an opportunity to engage the council at that second reading. If we were to set a date of hearing and second reading for Tuesday, April 2nd at 7 p.m. for this item. Councilor Jameson.
Still one question, if I could.
Sure.
before
Oh,
you
please.
do that. I'll support that 100% rule as well. I found that as a concern from the beginning. I'm not sure why it was left in there still, but I'll certainly support that. The other was do you know what the number of official complaints are that the city has received regarding chickens, rabbits, goats?
Well, I know of two specific cases, and without going into detailed, I am aware of two enforcement cases, and those go back to when we started this discussion. I have taken calls from both sides as this discussion has ensued the community, both from people who are surprised and maybe even appalled that their neighbors are keeping chickens. Under today's ordinances, it's allowed because the pet rule does not apply to birds and fish. Also, because we don't have a pet definition, someone was keeping a goat as a pet, and that was a problem in the neighborhood. And since that time, I haven't taken any because we have been working on it. I don't think we've pursued any new cases since we started this discussion, because we're trying to figure it out as a community.
Councilor Jameson.
I just wanted to add as well that the time that I've served as well, I haven't received a complaint about chickens or goats. I've received it about dogs and other ordinances and other code enforcement issues, but I struggle with, sympathize maybe with all the work that's been done over the last year over a couple of official complaints. It seems to me like the nuisance issue at hand is definable by a reasonable person, and if a single goat is causing a nuisance to its neighbor, the neighbor home, it's a nuisance, and the goat needs to go. But I'm okay with some definitions and all this, really, but it just seems like a lot of work for a couple of official complaints.
We did have an active interest, I will say that. So it was a good discussion, and it was received well by the community, both sides. And there are people who quit coming to the meetings because they were mad because we aren't prohibiting these types of animals. And they got mad and quit coming. So not everybody's happy, so it must be a good piece of legislation.
That's an interesting comment. Very good. With that in mind, would anybody want to set a hearing and second reading for Tuesday, April 2nd at 7 p.m.? Yes, Councilor Rolfing, thank you very much, and it has been seconded by Councilor Enneman.
Second, Karski. I'm sorry.
If there is no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Aguilar?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Entenmann?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 17.
Item 17 is a resolution of the City of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, approving the placement of sculptures on public property for an internationally recognized visual arts program known as Sculpture Walk Sioux Falls 2013.
Good evening. My name is Russ Sorensen with the City Planning Office, and with me this evening is Jim Clark, Executive Director for the Sculpture Walk Program. As a follow-up to your informational briefing this afternoon, Mr. Clark and I are here this evening seeking your support for the resolution for the 2013 Sculpture Walk Program. The Sioux Falls Sculpture Walk Program is celebrating its 10th year and has grown from 34 sculptures since 2004 to 55 sculptures for this coming year. And in the 9.5 years of the program's history, we've had over 425 sculptures that have been displayed downtown. And about 125 of those have been sold in our community. We had 140 entries this year. They received from 80 different artists, and they're juried by the Sculpture Walk Committee. And the program is, again, an international program. We've got sculptures from Belgium, Canada, and Italy as well. We have also 21 states that are represented, and we have 17 new artists in this year's program. The 55 sculptures and their alternates have been selected and recommended for the 2013 program placement downtown by the Sioux Falls Sculpture Walk Committee as well as the Visual Arts Commission. We've got over 100 businesses and individuals that contribute annually to the financial success and strength for this program. We have over 50 volunteers that have helped make Sculpture Walk even better. The Sculpture Walk program is significant in that it helps create a first impression of our downtown area for visitors by bringing large numbers of sculptures to the Central Business District. The public votes for their favorite sculpture annually, deemed as the People's Choice Award, and that sculpture is purchased by the city for up to $15,000. Sculpture Walk, the city staff, and the ADA Advisory Review Board, Public Works Engineering, Planning and Risk Management, along with the Visual Arts Commission, have all reviewed and favorably recommend this 2013 Sculpture Walk program this year. I might add that this is the 10th anniversary. The big push will be May 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Installation is planned for Saturday, the 4th of May. That concludes our presentation, unless you have questions.
Councilor Staggers.
Yes, Russ, when we started this program 10 years ago, the city was contributing some money to get it going. Are we still contributing money or not?
Yes, we are. We're contributing $15,000 for the purchase of the sculpture, the People's Choice sculpture, and then there's a $10,000 annual program fee for the installation, placement, and takedowns for the sculptures.
Thank you.
And that's through the CIP process.
And folks, I apologize. I should have allowed you an opportunity to engage the council on it. Is there anyone in the audience who wanted to speak to this item, or Russ, did Jim want to speak to the council at all? Come forward, please,
Sure,
Jim. Your leadership is certainly well recognized on this, and we certainly want to give you an opportunity.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Like I said, it was good to be back for the 10th year anniversary. We're looking forward to another fantastic year in 2013. 2012 sculptures come down on April 13th and 20th, and the new ones go up on May 4th, as Russ mentioned. And we also have an exposition and sale on that same weekend down at the Washington Pavilion. Our 2013 artists bring smaller sculptures for the exhibit and sale, and that will be Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, and also Sunday. So it should be just a huge weekend for Sculpture Walk, and we invite everybody to come down and see what's going on. So thank you.
If the people of our town wanted to get a quick glimpse of the 55 sculptures before they actually go up, what email, or I'm sorry, what web address could they go to? Do you have that ready to go, Russ? Would you mind, or Jim?
Well, ours is sculpturewalksiouxfalls.com.
Thank you. Yes. Sculpturewalksiouxfalls.com.
Right.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Council, any other questions of Jim or Russ? Yes, Councilor Anderson Jr.
What is the participation of the pavilion now?
Well, they're going to host us for the entire weekend, and it's the same night as Arts Night at the pavilion, which is the big fundraiser for the Visual Arts Center. And so it's going to be a crowded place, and we're sharing the revenue. So it's a wonderful new partnership, and we really look forward to it. It should be a good weekend. Thank you.
If I can just make a comment.
Please, Councilor Anderson Jr.
Jim, you and I have talked about it before. 10 years ago, I didn't think this was a good idea. I'm very happily wrong.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for your leadership. Council, I'm going to leave this in your hands now. We've got a resolution. Would anybody want to make a motion to approve it?
So move, Anderson.
Second, Entenmann.
Councilor Anderson Jr. has made a motion to approve this item, and it has been seconded by Councilor Entenmann. If there is no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Aguilar?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Entenmann?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Thank you. That is passed 8-0. Item 18.
Item
Russ.
18 is a resolution approving sculptures on city property.
Good evening again. Russ Sorensen with the City Planning Office. On behalf of the Orpheum Theater Board, tonight the board is seeking your support for the resolution addressing their 2013 sculpture program, which the sculptures are placed within their courtyard area. The program is in its 4th year, and the sculptures for this program include 4 sculptures and 2 alternates that are from previous Sculpture Walk programs in which they have been previously juried by the Sculpture Walk Committee and reviewed and recommended by the Orpheum Board as well as the Visual Arts Commission. These sculptures are leased for 1 year, and they're not intended to be gifts to the city, and this program does not include any public funds. The sculptures are placed on courtside pedestals within the courtyard area, and they reviewed 36 sculptures, and they narrowed it down to 6, 4 selections and 2 alternates. And the sculptures in this year are Gandhi, Mixed Emotions, Circus Trick 2 or 3, and Crescendo. And in addition to the Orpheum's recommendations, city staff again reviewed these, and with Public Works, Engineering, Risk Management, the Planning Office, and the ADA Advisory Review Board, along with the Orpheum Board and the Visual Arts Commission, they recommend approval of these sculpture selections for your consideration this evening. That concludes our report.
Russ, thank you. Is anyone in the audience want to speak to this item? Very good. Russ, are those lighted up at night, for example, during plays or
Yes.
concerts? They are?
They are.
Okay.
They have outdoor lighting that's spotlighting those sculptures.
Very good, thank you.
Move approval, Rolfing.
Second, Entenmann.
Councilor Rolfing, thank you very much for making that motion, and Councilor Karski, we'll let you have a second tonight. Thank you very much for your work. And if there is no further discussion, a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Staggers?
Yes.
Aguilar?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Entenmann?
Yes.
Erpenbach?
Yes.
Jamison?
Yes.
Karski?
Yes.
Rolfing?
Yes.
Very good. That is passed 8-0. Council, that is the last agenda item. Any other new business?
Move to adjourn, Erpenbach.
Second, Rolfing.
Councilor Erpenbach's made a motion to adjourn our meeting. It's been seconded by Councilor Rolfing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Boy Scouts, thanks for coming tonight. Good night, Sioux Falls. This meeting's adjourned.